speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on.
Good afternoon. Hopefully we have audio today. It looks like it, at least. So, yeah, it's going good, I would say. I am though horrible tired today, and I am going to try to be my best to be straight on and spot on. Good afternoon, Hella. Good morning, Rev, and good morning, Susan. We are still on the Heart Collectors Shawl, and I have not had as much time to crochet as I kind of had hoped for this week. Realistically, I'm not sure that we will be done for blocking this weekend, based on also, even though that the weekend is kind of the perfect time to do it, I also have other things to do, which means that then the time I had sort of maybe scheduled for potential blocking, that will then have to be used in crocheting if I wanted to finish it for blocking, and then there's not much time left. I'm still also not really sure how I would grab the blocking on, but honestly, right now I'm not caring. I just want it finished, and that is where we are at. I am still working with a huge shawl, obviously. We are working on the very last cake for the very last color transcend into the cream. And it's not that long ago that I added this cake, so hopefully we can get into cream today, and that's probably about it. I am just gonna see if I can move this bit back for you guys, and we'll have a look at it. But I have a pile on my desk, mates. I have a pile on my desk. What I should do also, of course, is to give you guys a dual camera view. But I mean, look, it's just a pile of yarn crocheted up. Woohoo! Huge. And here was my starting point, which means this is my starting end, and I am working that direction. So I just need to put it in my lap. So the good thing is, since last, is that the weather has come much more reasonable. Actually, it's almost cold. Not really, because it's still like 25 degrees outside. But compared to what we've just been used to, I mean, the temperatures dropped like 10, 15 degrees. So it feels a lot different. let's see what it says right now. It is sunny outside. And I'm back. I'm back with sleeves because I'm indoors. Outdoors, I don't think I would wear them, but here indoors, the home is even cooled down enough for me to wear sleeves indoor because it's just on the chilly end. Apparently, the conditions here are fair. I would say they are sunny with a cloud here and there. Maybe that is what's considered fair. It is a 77 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and that is about 25 degrees Celsius, and the wind is blowing from west at 8 miles per hour, and the humidity is 44. So, it's t-shirt and jeans weather. Yeah, it is if you're outdoor. Indoor, because I'm sitting still, then I'm a cold person, which means that I need an extra layer, which is kind of crazy, I know. Not everybody would need that, but if I only sit here in a t-shirt, I would freeze. It's that simple. But if I were outdoor in the sun and be moving around, I would definitely be fine in a t-shirt. In Quebec, it's 20 degrees Celsius, so it's 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind is blowing from west-southwest at 7 miles per hour, and the current is 94. It's cloudy there. New Jersey, it's 75 degrees Fahrenheit, about 24 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from southwest, and it's 84 humidity. We here in Texas are enjoying some exotic dust all the way from the Sahara, so my allergies are killing me. I think it's really impressive, actually, that the dust manages to blow all the way to you guys from Sahara. Like, it has to cross the freaking ocean. And it's not just like a small ocean, right? It has to cross the Atlantic. So that is rather impressive. So right now I am working on the first row here after the lace, and we discussed however much will I have to go past beyond here, and it is a genuine still I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be this plus the last row, or if it's gonna be this row plus 2 more rows before I'm finished. It is still yet undecided. It could be that I will indeed add to make it kind of more equalized and do the 3 rows after to kind of keep the pleats up. It could also be that I stop earlier. I'm not really sure if it's going to make a huge difference, but I think I will probably make that decision when I'm a bit closer to that point. I have a feeling it could be that I'll just stop after the next row, because during this row, and that is a thing I know for sure, we will be changing to the solid cream. And I am going to make minimum 1 full row where it's cream, which could be the following row after this. And given the shawl is getting pretty heavy, I'm also just inclined to stop then and say, okay, it's fine, we're good, we're done. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Good morning, Megan. Great to see you here. Oh, it goes the other way around, across Asia and the Pacific. That's insane. That's even more insane. Holy moly. Who would have thought? So yeah, that's kind of the plan right now, I guess. I'll just crack on with this row, get on with the cream. And as I said, I do want to make at least 1 full row of solid cream. And I guess the real question if I'll do 2. It could also be that I'll look at how much yarn I have left when we get there. Because obviously for as much more yarn I keep adding, the heavier this gets, and it's more than half a pound right now. So it's a rather heavy shawl because of its size. So it's more like a blanket almost. So that is why I'm kind of inclined just to stop after the full row of cream, because it's then like unified on the row, so to say, and we used up those cakes fully. So that's kind of what feels to be the most sensible right now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And meanwhile, we, I think, are having new neighbors, or they might have handed over the key today because suddenly all the rooms no longer have curtains and everything is just boom, kind of done, removed. I do hear a fair amount of noise outside on the streets. So it is almost quite reasonable to think that indeed they have gotten the keys today. And that is going to be interesting, I guess, because now also the garbage truck is coming and it is chaos outside my window. But yeah, so actually this is pretty easy. It's just a ton of double crochets. In between we'll chain 2 and in between we'll skip 2 stitches. Further than that, it is just chipping along here. So it is rather quick work. I think even that the following row might be an increase row, and in that case, yeah, it is. Then that makes even better sense just to stop there. Of course, the following row after would then be so much more, right? Also, don't forget to hit those nice thummies. Like the stream, we might end up getting new friends. And if you are right now rewatching this live, thank you ever so much for your support. It is ever so appreciated. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But yeah, other than that, not a lot of things have happened, except the weather has cooled down. So now it's more like a regular summer, which is nice. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. My mom-in-law got her new furniture Monday, and it is her birthday tomorrow, which means I need to wrap up the present I have laying over there. And we are heading to her place tomorrow, which also means that obviously I won't have a lot of time to crochet tomorrow, because tomorrow I have my appointments, I have work, and so on. And yeah, that just doesn't leave a lot of time to craft over and left. And I'm okay with it. Then Friday, I've also made myself a dinner appointment, which means that Friday stream, I will be live Friday, but it's probably going to be a bit shorter than what we usually do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But I'm sure we'll be fine about that. It's probably like half an hour short or something like that. It's the only way I can all squeeze it in. And on Friday, we are definitely working on the cream, but are we really gonna manage to finish it up? I'm not so sure right now due to basically everything and the time I physically right now have available in my hand this week. I knew it was gonna be a somewhat busy week. I guess it was an optimistic goal to have it finished. And I was pretty close. And that in itself is still something I'm proud of. Oh, that was a stitch too many. We are good at the too many stitches. Rev finished his donation blanket that he was working on Monday. Coolio. Here we are. All the scrappies put together in one big blanket. Lovely fresh colors for sure. And it just feels good when you can get scraps out of the way in your stash. Destashing scraps feel nice. And that is a fact. So that looks good for sure. It is two different greens though, because the green you have here is a variegated green, where this seems like a solid green. Or am I missing something here? But I would say it's two different greens. Ooh. Meanwhile, Rob says he's at 106 games used so far this year. That is impressive, my friend. That is impressive. I was just quickly going to, for funsies, check how we are looking on the parcels that I shipped. It still says that it should be delivered somewhere between today and tomorrow. I don't know if that's true. Did you receive like anything from US Post of curiosity? Or is it just more going to be like, knock, knock, here we are? Hope you're happy. They did arrive on 2 different dates, though. So one arrived Sunday, another one arrived, as that's in the US. So one came Sunday and one came Thursday. It's a bit funny because I shipped them together. Why wouldn't they have gotten to the States together? I don't know. But it could also be due to obviously being two so fast different locations. Oh, I'm still only doing top chat again. I hate this automatic setting. It pops into top chat half the time. There is no repeated colors in it. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Two, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It churns 2-bit pattern center square. It's 4 rounds and then it's 2 round after that with no repeats. Okay. And it does look good. I agree. Jessica says here, I have not touched my Heart Collector Shawl in a while. I just finished up my mandala last week and now I'm working on a wrap sweater for my boss. But right now I'm working on the Heart Collector Shawl. Well, when you and me both, girl. You, me, and both. Yeah. My Heart Collectors were a little bit silent during some periods of April and May. It's just first now we're putting in this very much clear home run. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. On row 19, I'm on row 62. Quick math. Except it is row 58 or something like that on the pattern. Well, not fully. I am keeping some of the increases, and of course we did do the beginning a tad bit different, so it is not 100% the pattern, but it is pretty darn close. And I think I'm pretty fine with not having to do further crazy increases there on those tips. I think it's good as is. Because it would have curved it even more, and I think it's curved enough. So yeah. I have a really, right now, unless something crazy happens, I think this is the second last row officially. That's pretty cool, actually. Heart Collector's Shawl, but done with a blanket yarn 6 so bulky 9mm hook. That would be a family short. Could get half the village under that. Oh my goodness! It would be a floor cloth basically. Like, That would really be huge. New duvet. On Monday, we do have another sort my stash video coming. It is going to be going through my chenille yarns, the few I have. Well, I do have a box full, so and talking a little bit about maybe the project ideas I have for some of them. It's also no secret some of the yarns I bought with another project in mind, and clearly I bought too much. But yeah, that's what it is. Just get to deal with it. I am still, though, not on tea, so I'm still just on lemonade for here next on the side when it comes to drinks and hydration. But it is actually slowly getting to be a such weather that I think lemonade tea can definitely start being considered again. We are also going to have a short summary of the my stash decrees. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Because we are on July 1st of today, and it's not today, but tomorrow I should be putting up that one where we are going through July. July is going to be a bit boring summary, but it is still there. And we have definitely been busy consuming yarn in June, but it has not really resulted in many used skeins because most of them are these cakes, right? Oh, I do have somebody with a parcel here. I don't know what's about. Oh yeah, I do actually. Just one moment and I'll be back.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon, we lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever, we'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. Our hearts beat to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon, we lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be.
So, I'm back. Thank you. No, yeah, sort of huge delivery and sort of me being like, okay, I'm on the go. I uh yeah, needed to do quickly something else. And then the delivery guy came and he had a parcel for the neighbors. And he was like, oh, I thought it was for you guys. Okay, I'll go deliver it to the neighbors. He went to the neighbors, and neighbors aren't home. So he comes back and bothers me again, being like, could you hold it, please, until your neighbors get home? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can. But I mean, yeah, so it took a bit longer because it was a bit sort of unexpected. But it's cool. We're back. I am appreciative of your guys' patience. We will try again to see if we can continue on this absolutely gorgeous project. I'm like, I know I've ordered something, but I think it should first arrive tomorrow. So why are they buzzing my doorbell? But it's because it wasn't for me, it was for my neighbors. Because I did order something last night. I did a small order, so there should be coming a small parcel to me from Amazon. I ordered some wooden, I'm not really sure what they are called in English actually. But I will see if I just can quickly find them and show it to you guys. I think that's easier to actually define what was it that I ordered myself. So let's pop over to the shopping window here. So I ordered these. This is like a wooden thing. You can spin them around, and due to the clock wheel on the tip and a rather thin board, it makes a sound when it goes around, and it makes a really like nice noise for it's a noise maker basically for if you're at a sport event or for a game or music festivals and so on. And this noisemaker is what I'd like to, well, they use them for the German Bundesliga, and obviously I've been competing in the past, but also we have Dutch championships coming up and so on. So I was like, I think I'm just gonna get some and I'll put them in my kit bag, because if I will go watch the final, I can at least make noise rather than clap my hands done. Then I'd rather sit and use these. So I decided I'll get myself a pack, and apparently there's 3 in a pack, which is perfect because, well, if it breaks, you have a new one already. So that's the short version, and it should be arriving tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. Right before I left for the parcel, you linked yesterday's efforts. Yes. I saw something. I just didn't get around something. Here we are. Coasters. It's the coasters you made for the wife to bring to work. They look good. I like the fact that we have 3 different colors here. I mean, like you can pick depending on your mood. Or one always goes with water and one always goes with soft drink and one always goes with coffee or whatever. I don't know. Wild guess, I guess. But yeah. I also recently heard, now when we are talking about small things, and if that's going to be true, I don't know, but we'll have to see. It sounds like that the European Union is going to add an extra tax worth about €3 for small items from, let's say, China and so on. And it's basically to kind of discourage people from buying all these tiny things, I guess, from Temu and AliExpress and whatnot, Shane. But I still think people will do it as long as they still deem it worth it. They don't care about the tax. I mean, I get some of my storage boxes for my hearing protection there because it's a good price and for what I need and so on. So, and it's just a container box with a zipper around it. But yeah, I'll just subtract that from my from my expenses, right? It's just a company expense in that event. It doesn't really make a change to me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Lots of things going on. I really genuinely think that we are soon getting some new neighbors. I am going to be curious though. What are we getting? But it doesn't really matter. It's not like I can change it. It's a tariff, the same thing that they're villainizing the US over. Yeah, basically it is. It's just what I heard. I haven't seen, I just read it today and I was like, yeah, but I don't see them. I don't see if it's for specifics or if it's just for extra tax or what it is. The EU has a ton of tariffs. They just call them other things. We call them import tax. We import tax everything outside the union. And that is based on. So there is some benefits, right? So when I send things to the US, for example, I can send that tax free because you're obliged to pay your tax on them. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And it's not fair for any to be charged twice. But if I import things, so if I import from the US, I will get taxed, but I will also, if I resell that, have to tax it. It's like the e-numbers bans that are actually trade protection. Yeah. Even a lot of the banned by EU is just a trade. Yeah, could be. I'm actually curious now. It comes here, yeah. The RTL news. Yeah, it's coming. It's definite. Today there are new rules. And it basically says if you order by Temu or Shein, it can become more expensive because from 1st of July, an extra tax on €3 will be handheld. Yeah, it's valid for every packet until a value of €150. But it's only for cheap e-commerce packets outside of the union, like Shein, Temu, AliExpress, etc. And according to this, it's mainly from packaged parcels from China. So, yeah. So I'm going to see if I can actually. You will have to pay €3 per product category. Holy moly. Yeah, that's going to be pricey. So if you order, for example, let's say a new phone cover and a belt, that's 2 different product categories, and then you're off €6. Cool. Yeah, that is going to be pricey to shop on Temu if one does that. I don't, luckily. And it's the EU, so I'm quite sure that it's also valid in Denmark because Helle is saying that she heard something in the news, but she didn't really listen. Yeah, I think it's also valid there. Um, it's not bad. I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing. I mean, how can one really, and I mean genuinely really, buy something like, let's take yarn or something like that. Like you can buy a set of crochet hooks for €6 on Temu. How can that even be including shipping and everything from China land to here on production and everything? How can they make it for that price? It seems insanely unethical to me when you think it through. So I guess the EU is just doing what the US is doing to China. Oh my goodness. But some of the things I've seen is it's just insane. Given you would need to ingest something like 1 gallon of threads, 40 per day to have a theoretical effect. Yeah. Because you would love to see if you could dye your skin reds from the inside out. It's like tanning it, I guess. I mean, some things are crazy. It's like the fact that caffeine is doping. So you could technically dope yourself if you drank enough coffee. But I will also then say the amount of coffee you would need to drink to be considered in the category of doping levels, you would probably need to spend more time on the toilet peeing it out than it would have any effect on whatever sport you're doing. So it sounds a bit ridiculous, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. The EU has always been about European trade protection, and it's unsurprising. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm definitely not surprised that it's gotten here too. The foundation of the EU was to be able to compete with the American market, given its size disparity possible. I am not really one that's kept insanely much track of why certain things was decided, but I do know that it is to hopefully help the trade market within also shorter distances, which is generally also better for world, right? If you don't need to fly in whatever from a far away place, it's much better for the environment. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I love European history, especially between Napoleon and the 1960s. Oh yeah, so there was a long time ago a great TV series. Now, when we're talking Napoleon times, and that is the Hornblower, which is absolutely amazingly made. It's a book series by C.S. Forester, and it basically goes about ships and sails and wars between the England and France, but also to some extent Spanish. Um, and I think they were actually quite good. I'm kind of sad that they didn't completely finish the whole iterations. Ref says he's seen it. Awesome, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, my friend. I think they're good. You also watched a good bit of Sharp. Okay. Not sure if I watched that one. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Also wheat. I just need to make sure all of this blanket is, well, blanket it's not, but it feels like one. Will I ever again make a similar sized shawl? I don't know. If you paid me for it, maybe. I mean, gosh. But we are definitely getting closer and closer to the end. It's in sight. It's in sight. Sharp is the story of how Sinn Fein and half of a dozen Englishmen defeated the Napoleon's 27 Frenchmen to win the Peninsular War in Spain. Ah, it had a budget of half a ham sandwich. Fun. I'm going to have to almost Google this. I should know, maybe. It's the same. What I also actually do like watching is the Shogun. I think that's good too. I will have to see if that's even findable. But they did indeed have a couple of episodes of this. Not sure why I never watched that. Quite a bit of it on YouTube. Shav is also why Sinn Fein has to die in every movie he's in. Yeah, I'm sure he's super happy with being killed off in Game of Thrones. And he also died in Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness. They die everywhere. So I'll go back and refer to the fact if you do have Netflix and you do like a good crimi, I would advise to, I don't know what it's called in English though. And they made a series of it now. It's called The Chestnut Man in English. It is a Danish, based on Danish book series, or a Danish book as well, a novel to be more exact. And it is, there's made 2 seasons now, but what is important to say here is, it's, yeah, it's a good crimi. The Chestnut Man. I'll provide you the IMDb title for the series, and a link for those who's curious. But it is on Netflix. It's a series you can watch on Netflix. It has 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2. It is not 100% book accurate, but it comes okay close. Some of them are changed compared to the book, but I still think that both of them were pretty well made. I'm just gonna quickly check. Actually, just inform my neighbor that we got his parcel. So he knows. Dum, dum, dum. Two, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So yeah, if I'm not gonna reach the blocking state of this shawl during this live, I'm just not well for that sake this week. I'm fine. I mean, things take the time things take, and given the fact that I'm not paid to do this, it's also not like a job. so I can prioritize as I please. I think that's a nice thing with crafting, and if the ability to just take it up and do something and then put it back down if you're no longer in the mood, or if there are things that may require your attention instead. That is nice. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So what are you guys working on today? I know Jessica is working on the Heart Collectors. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 indeed. I will guess that Helle is knitting still. She hasn't told me she's finished at least, so I'm sure she's knitting. Or maybe she's doing something else. Could also be. I need to start to look at my projects. Susan's working on a few knit hats. Her friend gave her 3 skeins of bulky acrylic yesterday. And they are becoming hats. Oh, that's a good plan. Hats is definitely also a project I need to get back into. Do have a bucket hat going on, which I started but haven't really done much on. And that is definitely going to be one of the projects I'll get kicked off. I can also get to spend time on getting all my current worked up stock, which I've decided is not going to be kept for myself, sorted and stashed onto my stall. Stocked, basically. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And I do have a few smaller projects laying on as well, because I do have some of the chenille yarn still where I can make some scrunchies. So I'm probably gonna do that. But you know, they are all very quick makes. It could also be that I just take those for in the car. There is only, well, tomorrow it's 3 weeks until we will be driving to Denmark. And thus, in 3 weeks' time, I need some projects to bring with me on the go. And that could very likely be scrunchies, because they're easy in the car, right? I could just wait with weaving and ends later. But if I would create the primary bit for the scrunchies, that would probably be just fine. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. What was I thinking actually? I was thinking something, but I'm not sure what it is anymore. That's kind of sad. I think it is because my brain is still a bit tired. We do have plenty of things going on at work right now too. But generally it's looking good. My employer was like, I said, oh, I feel a bit tired. I should probably sleep too little, that's the issue. And she said, oh, so Stina, when is your vacation? I'm like, oh, I have a few days in 3 weeks' time, but that's not necessarily gonna mean that I'm gonna sleep great. I mean, I know for a fact that doesn't change the fact I'll be tired. I mean, it's a different bed, not as much room as in my current bed. Just, yeah, subconsciously you just don't sleep as well. And also, I won't have the window as easily open there because I'll be eaten by mosquitoes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Or maybe I need to take the mosquito go away spray with me and then spray myself in before I go to bed. And then hope that they won't eat me. That's an option. That is actually an option. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Rev is making more coasters right now. Color choices made? Or just picking what you have in your stash? The wife got to pick. Okay. I still need to sort the cotton part of my stash. Reminds me. And that is also a fair bit of yarn. I think when doing that, probably the most important I can do is that I need to get sorted what's really scraps and what's not. Because I do have quite a few skeins where they are open or broken loose, so they're not full. And I'm not really sure I want to stash all of those half skeins, because if I have to order a new skein to finish something, it's still going to be probably there could be a change in the dye a lot in the sense of how they look and so on. 14, 16, 17. So I'd rather just say, okay, it's just a bunch of small pieces, and then we'll take it as it comes with whatever projects which could be small enough for making them. Which reminds me, there are new sales again on a few places. Not good for me. You're using the Loops and Threads Classic Cotton. On the colorway Peacock. You swear it's a Lily Sugar and Cream dupe that it feels almost identical? Oh, yeah, could be. That could definitely be. Without knowing. How's the weight versus length and so on? Similar? Hey Sarah, great to see you, girl. It's been a while since we've seen each other here in live. So happy to have you with us. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It's crazy. Don't forget to hydrate, friends. Meanwhile, I'm cracking ever so closer through the consumption of this current one. Ooh, that's enticing. Ish. Drops have the cotton still right now. Oh. Challenging, to say the least. Challenging and tempting in one go. But I do not need. I do not need. I do not need. I have enough. More than enough, to be honest. So loops of threads is 120 yards to 2.5 ounces, the same as sugar and cream. So it could very well be a dupe, especially if they feel the same. Then it is quite a possibility. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Before you wash them, they can both buff out oil stains from concrete. What? That's crazy. You do get a free defoliation of your hands when working up. So that's the all the leftover dead skin cells gets removed. I've never had it in my hands, and I have a feeling I'd be very disappointed given that I'm used to a much nicer cotton here in Europe. I'd probably be very disappointed. It's a cheap, rough cotton. It's nice once you wash it. But I think our cottons are cheap too. I mean, Lily Sugar and Creams is not like cheap, are they? It's the main side. I don't need that. What are they at Mary Maxim's? 3 years, 56 for 70 grams. So we have like soft cotton for basically the same price, basically for length and weight. Look, moon dance. Oh, it's not moon dance yet, but it reminds me of it. That's kind of nice, actually. This color. Oh, you can't see it. I'm just popping around. I said that's nice one. And then I saw that they had the moon dance here. They also have the key lime pie. That's kind of cool too. I mean, €3.56 is not like insanely expensive. I can earn points, I guess. But Mirror Maxims is an expensive option. Let's see what we have here down here. Shipping. International shipping. I mean, it's gonna be everything from $100 to $350. Which sounds insanely expensive. I mean, if I buy for $300, I need to pay $350 in shipping. And that's not even covering my import costs. Like, no thank you. You just have to buy for $79 and it's free. But I do get it's more expensive the more you buy for. But I mean, yeah, I'm not going to pay $300 to get it shipped to Europe. It's not happening, my friends. The loops and thread cotton is under 3 for 100 yards. Okay. I can sometimes get like soft cotton at 50 grams, 175 ounces for €1.50 per skein on sale. I mean, right now the drop super sale is there, which means that I can get it for €1.10 per skein. Sarah says my kids are on summer break and keeping me away busy, but I'll have pockets of time here and there to catch replays, and today for short time to tune it. Have you been watching the World Cup too? Well, I haven't, to be honest. Well, I have slightly in the background, but that's more because when I'm at the club, they're watching it. I'm not super World Cup person. Yeah, well, if Denmark had been playing, but they didn't qualify. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But I know that my neighbors or whatever, somebody here in the area has been watching, because Monday night on Tuesday, somewhere between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, it was late or early, however you want to look at it, I suddenly hear "Yay!" from outside because they were happy. Goal scored. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, it's the middle of the night. Like, why do you need to have the doors open and then go in a party like that? You wake up, people. That was, yeah. So because some of those matches for us are played really early / or for you guys late, which makes it really early for us, right? I'm just being a little bit like, do normal. But yeah, that was very, very early. I paid €1.99 per yesterday, so that's not too bad. No, that's definitely not too bad. That's a decent deal. That is definitely a decent deal. But yeah, so yeah, that's some of the reasons I haven't really been watching, because I'm like, I'm not gonna get up in the middle of the night, and I'm not gonna be asked to find replays and whatnot of football because, well, it's not interesting me that much. I would probably have been more into it, figuring out stuff if Denmark had been playing, but honestly, I don't watch it an awful lot. I think that's probably more the reality to it. If I watch or not, it's not going to make a big difference. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I am seeing the solid cream under here. Woohoo! You're sad that Scotland got eliminated. The Tartan army was a blast to have around. Yeah, well, I'm sure I heard lots of stuff about the Dutch team as well and their supporters, but I mean, they just had to play better then. Uh, and it's definitely a thing that um, they need to be for championships like this. They really need to have trained penalties because there's a big chance that they go into penalties, right? If they here in the really knockout phase after the group phase are still tied, they will have to do penalties. And it is definitely something that requires training, I think. The Dutch failed on their penalties. And I don't know if it was because they didn't hit the goal or if it was because the keeper got it in time. But regardless, it just proves that training penalties is a really good thing. Oh, that was one stitch too many. Rewind like that. Oh my goodness. I am sorry for the yawning today, my friends. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I don't care about football the slightest. Might as well watch the grass grow. Yeah. I'm sure that's just as exciting. Sarah's laughing. As I said, I had probably made a little bit more effort if it had been Denmark, but that's probably more because I do feel a closer connection there. That's just, I guess, the truth of it. The US is apparently doing well, and I still don't care. Yeah, well, sometimes home matches are easier. Mm-hmm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I'm going to say, look here. Last few tips. Then we're on the bottom end. Ooh. But as I said, I also know that I won't have enough yarn to complete this row fully. I've learned enough doing this to know. You're cheering on Germany, and when they lost, my 8-year-old cried himself to sleep that night. Poor kid was so into it. Oh, that's sad. I mean, it's just a game. Not everybody can win. But the passionate part is, I guess, the nice one, right? It's good to be passionate about things. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Inching ever so closer here. I do think the benefit here of working into the more like lacy bit here is that I work in a lot of spaces, so I don't need to worry to find the stitch. That does go a little bit quicker. Gotta run again. Motherhood calls. See you in the replay. Well, thank you so much for hanging around here, and yeah, I hope you will enjoy the replay. Kids can get really, really into things. It's good actually because they learn about big emotions with something that's not important in the big picture. True. I wonder what's called. So many moons ago, when I was a little child, my parent got their first VHS player, and they had also bought a cartoon for us to watch. I guess maybe because they knew I was a kid as well, so it would make good sense. And I'm trying to remember what it's called in English, to be honest. Yes, The Land Before Time. It's an American cartoon from 1988 by Spielberg. I'm sure you guys know it when you see photos of it. They made multiple. But I saw it in the theaters. Well, so my parents got it together with the VHS player, and I got it for Christmas. So I don't know if we had the VHS player much long before Christmas, but I got the VHS cartoon as a Christmas present. And we were watching that, I think, on the second day of Christmas or something like that. And the mother died. And she died like, what, 10, 15 minutes in. And I was crying. I mean, really seriously crying. I don't know how old I've been, but it's not like I've been super old. But I just kept crying because the mom died. And that was so sad. So I can so much relate to feelings. And being a young person, I think that was probably the first movie I ever cried to. Definitely had plentiful things. When it gets sad. Yeah, them 1980s cartoons with Savage. Hey kid, wanna watch Fun Adventure? Too bad here's trauma instead. Yes! That's what I remember. I just remember she died. Like, well, I do remember the rest of it. Like, they go on this huge travel and they end up in this Fantasia land in the end, right? But a paradise, maybe one should call it. But I mean, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But yeah, that's basically a bit of what I remember is this that the mom dies, and I cried. They did make more of them later, but I didn't really keep up on them as much. I do have a few of them, I believe. Um, but definitely not on the same level as um, the first. And I did also watch them. So over the years, we did pick up a few more of them, if I remember correct. But yeah, they're so old, they're still on VHS. You used to watch The Secrets of NIHM when you were kids. The funny, because my aunt worked for the National Institute of Mental Health, so it was extra scary for us. Ooh. So it's more like a scary watch then. So I just turned 17, which means that this piece should, once done, sun is gone. But it's still blue skies from here and there, so I think it's partially sun is gone. Should be 2 more, so 17 plus 2 is 19. So when I get on top of this, I should be able to count to 19. Growing up in Maryland, I just knew people who worked for the Alpha Soup Orgs. Alphabet Soup Orgs, but still. Yeah. There's always regions where you know more based on local industry, right? Used to have some customers who were CIA. They would disappear for 2 months at the time and come back as if nothing happened. Yeah. Oh, like, did you go on like a very long vacation? A very long work trip, I guess it would be, but you kind of get the gist, right? There was yarn change. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, let's try again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. It is safer that way. For them, for sure. I mean, if you do undercover work, it is a lot different. So my massage therapist is a former police agent, and he also did undercover work. And sometimes he tells me some of these stories, like he's being like, sometimes it was a benefit being undercover in a bit more rough environment because when I had to get up and get to job and so on, and it was a bit like it's gone a little bit late out of bed. It wasn't too bad if I had forgotten to shave because that would kind of fit into this sort of environment of people. So Yeah, I definitely can imagine. But I mean, it's a bit fun when you hear about it in hindsight, right? That I think it also has to be difficult living a double life. Um, I really don't think that's easy. And it is very impressive for those who can do. Ain't trying to get grabbed by the NSA for asking too many questions. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's like an insane level of control, I guess. And it sort of feels insanely odd to me. But I'm also aware there is some sort of big brother over it all. As much as late last night, I got this information on my clock saying, it will take you so many minutes to drive to the club. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I mentioned to it that I was going to go to the club. So I'm wondering, and I think that's really the case, it is tracking your emotions so much that it will, and the time of doing certain things, that it will know, okay, at this time, every Tuesday, you usually fare to the club. I mean, why else would it know if I don't tell it? The CIA does some crazy stuff, and it's always best not to look at look too close at it. That I believe is true. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. The next is going to be 21, if I calculate correct. Oh. You should also not forget to hydrate, but I'm just going to get onto the tip and count, and then we are on halfway of this row, which is, I think, 99% sure to be the second last row. So there's a 1.5 or maybe 2.5 rows to go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 21. I like what I'm matching, correct? Yep. And also, and I realize we are still on the very, very bright side of things, which I am now trying to fix, which is now really, really bright. So we are going to go, oh, that's a bit darker. There we are. But I mean, look, cream. And the difference goes here. So in between here is cream solid. We are definitely getting closer to color change. And that is a color change we, by the way, it can do because it is for this. Mm-hmm. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 21. It is going flying colors. That should not be so many. Well, one moment. I'm trying to count once more. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Okay, I had added a 2 count. I was like, huh? How can that be 21? But I think still my brain is so fried. I mean, I've really been, and I think, I think it's also the heat that I've really had some poor sleeping nights. That's definitely not done it better for me. Do, do, do. But guess what? We are in July, and we don't have that much left of these skeins. And you know what that means? It means that we have so much unused in July. Yeah, that's a count. Woohoo! Because if I look at the current count, I mean, I'm behind, genuinely behind in my yearly consumption. I felt I was doing really good in the beginning of the year, and right now I feel I am not. But it's because this has just been so much yarn going into one project, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Rob is sharing what he's been working on. I am happy to share in just a few. I just need to get in here. Yeah. Ooh, that's nice. That is, I really like this petrol color, so to say, the peacock. That is a very nice combination. I'm not sure if I would say the peacock adds something nice to the white or the white adds something nice to the peacock. But it is a very nice combo for sure. Absolutely. She did a good choice. But I'm sure you can make quite a few of those while I make this one during this live. I mean, they aren't super big, right? So it's just gonna be rock and roll. And indeed, very nice. Chat on my computer is sometimes a bit slow loading. Four, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I see the color change coming very soon, which means that we are really on the home run because it is the last color change to happen. And then it's just a question of changing cakes and potentially adding the solid cake as well to get to the end, right, of the following row. And then I guess at the end of the next row, I will decide if I am gonna do a very last row or not. Yeah. Oh, there was a stitch too many. Get out. Hey, there are only 4 rounds. That's my point. You will finish them quickly. I mean, here is 6 to some odd rounds, right? It will be a breeze. 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. 16 double crochets in the circle, 2 double crochets every double crochet from row 1, then single crochet, chain 2, skip, single crochet, repeat for the last round. Where it's changing color, that's alternating. Single crochet and 7 double crochet clusters. Yeah, to make the fans. Or the waves, or whatever we should call them. So it's easy work, that's my point. You could skip a breeze quickly through them. Petals, thank you. Ooh. It's really good ease to effect patterns. It definitely looks good for how simple it is. Simplicity is good as well. Sometimes simpler is better than advanced even. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Gosh, we are. Look here. It is. Right, yeah, my friends. We have the color change. Which means it's time for scissor time because it is really a long end that's popping out of this one. So a little bit too long for me. That's better. So we aren't quite there yet, but we are almost there. But color change for the win. It is also the last color change. Because we're heading into the solid cream, and that is the last of it all. And that's my point. When I get to the end here and I get the others on, the question is, so of course it would be super nice if this would be enough to just exactly not require adding on anything else, and I'll just have a few meters over. If that's the case, it's definitely a quit. But I'm not sure if we'll actually quite make it there because I have a fair amount of stitches to go, and I'm not that far from the tip, which means that this is I will have to change cake already before the end of the next row. So I will definitely need the solid cake I found to be able to finish the following. To be able to make them full solid. Final row. Here we are. It's changed. Uhu, uhu, uhu. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Yep, it is indeed the final change. Woohoo! Small happy moments. Not sure. Well, I can actually see it, but it's not like super bright. I don't know if is it visible. Yeah, it changed here. So these 5 stitches are new. It's not like super because this light peach with the 3 cream is already reasonably bright. But I mean, we are gonna go through and finish this row and do one more row, which is an increase row, in fact. And then I don't know if I necessarily need to have it ending on a scale of 3 or if 2 is fine. I'm personally think okay with 2 because it is getting really big and it is getting pretty heavy also. And the heavier it gets, the more unpractical, I guess. $17. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Headline: Employers who laid off employees for AI are starting to regret it. Who could possibly have foreseen this very obvious outcome? Because AI doesn't think for you. You have to be very exact and provide quite exact instructions. There is a YouTube video on that, which I think illustrates very much also how you have to handle AI. And that is definitely related to exact instructions. I think you can just Google, like if you put it into YouTube, there's like this 6-7 minutes example of why exact instructions are needed. And it relates to making a sandwich with peanut butter and jelly. But AI needs very exact instructions, and AI will not, in that sense, think for you. It will do what you ask it to. But if you're not very specific as of what you want, you might get something different. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. For one, I would argue anything unimportant enough to leave AI is probably something that should be eliminated from workflow. We use it for work, and some of the things it can do is very useful, and that will take hours if I have to gather it myself manually. But we're still back to the I need to be extremely specific as to what I need done, and why, and so on. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Oh. So one does use up the color quicker when doing a crazy ton of double crochets compared to the chain spaces, obviously. Rows also take longer, which is not logic either. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I have to say, I do have a feeling I need a good crack. Yeah. Oh, and that is really, it sounds crazy, but actually quite nice to do on the chair. I just basically pack the edge and pull good while I keep seated, and it cracks so ever nicely. I will first see my physio next week. Oh, and on Monday, I also have a dentist appointment. But yeah, on Monday we have a sort my stash video, so I'm not live on Monday. But I'll definitely be back on the Wednesday. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Mm-hmm. So what else do I need to get done? That is a good question. what plans we have. We might need to make some, but we have definitely to have and create a bunch of small makes because I'm kind of done with the big one for a bit. At least like a few weeks before I'll consider something big. Good morning, Lisa. Don't be shy and give a thumbs button some love. Yeah, please do not be shy. I'd love for it to get a few likeys. Lisa, we just had a color change. We are now officially in the solid cream. And the row mask tells me that I am likely gonna finish this row and then do one more row because I want to have a full row of cream. And then we're finished if I'm happy, which I'm quite feeling sure I will be. I mean, it's huge already as is. So I think I'm good. I still think it's gorgeous when I'm looking at the flat lay. The flat lay is not as bright on the edge as it now is because obviously come a few photos since, but here we have the flat lay. And I'm just adding ever so slightly bit more and that's done. Like only ever so little more. And then I guess I need to attempt to block it. It may be that I only block specific parts of it and then let the rest kind of lay because it is supposed to fringe. And while I can like spread it out, I would also need to block all of those partially if I do. I can't do that in one go because if I do spread it fully, those edges won't spread. They won't keep spreading. So I'll have to take them out piece by piece and block them from yeah, how can I say that? Because I'm not sure you can actually watch that if I do. But like from where it starts to getting lighter, so the flat piece is not an issue, but it gets an issue when it starts to fring up. But even so, if I pop over back here, you can see it is possible to lay out here, but it is so much wider compared to the center, and that is why it kind of curls up like this when it's flat laid. So I would need to, if I wanted to block this fully, I would need to do it over multiple steps. That's pretty evident. So I think we are pretty much working here on the last bits. Oh, stitch too many. That seems to have gotten into a habit once in a while, so I always have to here and there frog a bit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Susan says I wouldn't bother blocking it since it would curl up in the end anyway. That's also true. There is a part of me that's debating on only blocking the center bit. So in any case, I'd like to block the small heart up in the center, and then only to block, this bit until like here-ish, and only block that. There's a part of me that's also debating that route. And that would mean that I would likely put it on the mat like this and pin in the needles and then spray it with water and then stretch. I think that's also an option. But you're right, it will curl in any case. So the real question is, what gained effect could I get from the blocking? When one is looking at the pattern, it's It's definitely much different, I feel, to some extent. I can't type and open the right folder. Here we are. We just need to zoom in a bit more. And then we'll pop over to, here we go. So this is the original one, and that's kind of like spread out like this, but mine curves far more up, I feel. And yet this one you can see because of it, it also like hangs down, right? So yeah, maybe it just can't be because, and the reason obviously that it curls also is because of every of these tips we increase by a lot, and we do that every like second row. So of course it starts to curl. It's quite logic. And it is gorgeous. I mean, Lisa would block it as it would open up the holes better. Yeah. The only question is when I'll block it, because it depends on when we completely finish it. And that penultimately also depends on how much time I'll have this weekend. And right now, I don't 100% know. Because I will also be heading and visiting them at the Dutch Championships. Sunday, I'll be competing myself. Yep, it definitely will drape nice after a block. But Lisa, so my biggest challenge right now is for these fans, would I block it in sections and then really get these fully spread out? Or will I accept the fact that they may flip-flop a bit and then just pinpoint the tips out? I think I might need to like completely spread them. May need to ask Amanda what she did. Well, the benefits of blocking it in section is you don't need as much space to lay the entire piece out. 100% valid. Also, I can't, like, the problem is it drapes even if it lays flat, right? It's not gonna be spread out perfectly. So I will have to block it in section. Also, I'm not sure if I have enough mats to do it in one block. Might have, might not. Six, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. If you do block it in sections, I would consider blocking several sections at a time, and also including one tip from the previous blocking so you don't get weird lines in it. That makes good sense. Susan says, I feel blocking depends on the final recipient. Keep or sell? I don't know. I'm open to selling it for the right price. But right now it's probably a keeper because of the amount of work I've put into it. If that makes any remote sense. I mean, I know how long one piece takes to make, so yeah, I could definitely do them again, but not anytime soon. And I would definitely never get paid the real working effort for it, which is fine. I mean, what would one hypothetically be willing to pay, right? Like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It's, if I buy the yarn without discount, there is like a 90 euros of yarn. It's not tea time. It's Twister. Hobby Twister. So there's roughly 90 euros of yarn. Probably closer to 100 because I bought the solid skein even though I didn't use it up fully. And now we're also talking prices without them being on sale, of course. It can also be that it comes to that I realize I never use it and I'm like fine with selling it. I would imagine. So that's why I'm like, I said, like, if one genuinely, I guess, wanted and is willing to pay a reasonable amount for it, I think I would actually be quite open to selling it. And I think it's because I'm not sure how much I will use this one. It is a big one. And I'm more for shawls. I can also just like throw around my neck if I need to do that. And a single to like kind of drape or cover me if it's a bit chill, that's cool. But that's more for like a summer evening thing. Six, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Because in reality, I've probably spent. I started on it in February, end of February, but I barely crocheted on it in March. I also did other things in April, so it's probably 2.5 months crochet time. But I also do other thing in between, not only this. So I don't know. Maybe it's 2 months. I don't know. Rough guess 120 hours, so more. Way more. Right now, every row is more than 3 hours a piece. Yeah, maybe 120 hours because the beginning weren't. I don't know. Yeah, that could be. It's just 120. I didn't time it. I probably should have. 120 hours at $20 an hour. I mean, that's 2,400 USD, and then I don't need to charge for the yarn still. But I mean, that's crazy if you like want to throw it up like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. But definitely, if somebody offered me that, I would say, sure, you can buy it. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I mean, that would be insane. Yeah, you never get paid for your time correctly unless you're willing to take quick makes. Exactly. That is the truth, isn't it? I mean, looking at what I'm charging just for the scrunchies, I don't really get paid for my time in anywhere close to the same way as my job. And that's all right. I am intentionally selling my items at a very fair price because I also want people to be able to obtain them. And I do this because it kind of helps me relax a bit. If you can boot 3 to 4 hair scrunchies an hour, then you can charge for time at a decent rate. Yeah, but it also costs to buy. And I can't make them that fast, I think. Maybe 2.5. I'm not a quick crocheter. That's the problem. I need to speed up my crocheting. But we're kind of back to it's just not a craft that's really paying. More people would do that already. It's just a very fierce competitive market out there as well. Are there any specific things that like you'd be looking for? And I definitely have some shawls that's currently just laying my in my cupboard right now. I mean, in my closet where I probably will be saying, okay, no, you're going away because it's just, um, yeah, too much sounds really wrong, but that is not what I mean. I got upset yesterday. We had for a monthly school meeting, and were asked if anyone had any ideas, to quiet the chairs when the kids get up and down from them. Well, crocheted thingies to put underneath. And yeah, felt plaids is also an idea. But you can also like crochet kind tiny things that kind of like you can put the feet into, I guess. It depends on how the chairs are. The lady behind me said, Lisa, you like crocheting, right? I turned around and told her not that much. And another lady that also crocheted said, I don't think that would get finished soon. Yeah, it's just this expectation. Sure, you can do it. And, your time is also worth something. And Rose says, yeah, this is a side hustle, so not really main income where you need to worry about it. Nope. It is 100% side hustle, whatever I do here. On the other hand, if I don't get permanent contract at the end of the year, this could become a temp reliable sort of. I need to rely a bit on it until I figure out what next. But so far, I think I'm fine, but you never know. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Let's do a hard or 400 chairs with 4 legs per chair. No, thank you. I just wouldn't want to do that. That's get them some felt pads to stick under. The real answer is tighten the cheap bolts that's holding the chairs together. Right. It's from the feet of the chair striking across the floor. Yeah, they need felt pads. That's the cheapest solution. Cheapest and simplest and quickest. You can get those with dual side, like they have glues on both sides, so glues on one side and a felt pad on the other. It's like, come on. What I remember is we had these we had tables at my school which they had like a screw foot where you can like increase the height on them, but oh no, they didn't even. It was standard height, standard set table height. But what we would do is when we had woodwork class, we would like get some blocks at a certain height and drill holes in them to put the feet in to kind of raise it up so it was elevated at the front to prevent this like looking too much down and get it a bit up higher for a better working proposition. And we did that during school class to actually prevent that, so to say. That was like one of the assignments when we had woodworking class, which was pretty okay actually. I mean, that's more sensible because the kids learns to use certain woodworking machines at the same time. I mean, you can't expect private people to spend their time to do it like as if you have nothing else to do. The noise is from the legs moving, which is from the cheap bolts not being tight. Yeah, sometimes, not always. I mean, the chairs in the house, they can definitely make a noise too. It's either hardwood floor or tile floors. The chairs are loud against the floor. Yeah. Oh. Not sure what I did there. We need one more stitch. And count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Felt and tightening the bolts will eliminate the noise. Well, it could be a combination. It's not impossible. But I think most classrooms are noisy a lot of the time. Also kind of depends on the teacher and how the room is settled. I mean, it depends on the amount of decoration, or it can't be quite like as an empty room and you say something, you can hear the echoing. Oh yes, totally. Crochet parts are such an enormous time investment for such an easy solution. I sometimes also just wonder if people are just like thinking, oh, but she might have some scrap. Maybe she can just make them for free. And now we're not talking about the time investment, which they don't consider either. I mean, let's be realistic for once. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Does remind me of one thing. 1, 2. Yeah. How much could a banana cost? Yeah, who knows? I don't think this lady have any clue about either time or cost of yarn involved. And also they have their idea that they are doing me a favor by finding something for me to make. Oh yeah, no, 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 no. It's better to decide yourself what you want to make. Like, I don't have nearly all my projects for the rest of the year planned out already yet. You do definitely have your work cut out for you, right? So you're not going to get bored. So why would they even worry if you're bored? I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It's times like that that I just take a deep breath and remember it's not their fault for being stupid. Maybe there was a lead lead paint in the childhood home. Yeah, oh my god. Right. Oh, could be. It's the same with asbestos, right? Maybe their parents worked with asbestos before they knew that it was a material that was implementing cancers. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Yeah, some people just don't think. I think that's the end conclusion of this story. Not thinking through. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Is there live on Friday? Yes, Lisa, there will be a live on Friday, but I may not be around as long as today. I might have to end it, say, half an hour earlier. Meanwhile, Rose says I might need to lay off the crochet anymore today. My wrist is bucking me. Probably slept on it or something. Yep. So we'll have a bit shorter live, but I'll still be live on Friday. That's the current plan. That was the plan all the way along from when we started doing these. When I started saying, okay, we need to crack on with the Heart Collectors Shawl. And then the question is if I may go back to the Yarn Talk videos or if I will still keep lives and then do the occasional Yarn Talk videos, doing the all rough catch up since the last one. I may still do those. I may not make it on Friday. We're going to go to the city to go shopping. Oh, that sounds nice, though. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. You can always just, Lisa, like rewatch, be part of the rewatch group. That would be absolutely fine and understandable. It is indeed very close to the end here. Too many of the ladies in my stitch group have had or need to have wrist surgery for me to push it. Oh, yeah, no. No. And Susan says, have a great day. Thank you, Susan. I hope you're gonna have a wonderful day ahead as well. And I will hopefully see you on Friday. I'm just gonna go here to the top. Nope, it's definitely not worth risking damage. We do need to listen to ourselves and everything else that we are doing. I think that's also why it's good to have different fiber avenues, like both crocheting and knitting. I think that's overall better for us, to be honest. Oh, we can definitely see it's brightening up, can't we? And I say on this part, I'm definitely going to have to do one more row, and not so much due to this, but really due to the fact that halfway through we changed the color, and it is a very, like, the other color, like the difference between them is very subtle, but I mean it's gonna be nice if it's just one equal color all the way through. And I think I'm going to have to need the extra solid cake I have, but it's not gonna be a lot stuff. I'll just play video game or something, might watch some more Claxon's Farm. I started it the other day. Well, Claxon's Farm is brilliant. Through and through, brilliant. And he is actually saying that he is going, like, season 6 is actually officially recording. So that's pretty cool. That is very cool. And that's positive for him because that means that they caught it on time, the cancer, right? Thank you so much for watching. I had a great day today in your guys' company, as always. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and if you're rewatching this, thank you so much for your support all the way to the end. Yeah, I'm gonna say take care and happy crafting, happy stitching, and I will be back on a Friday, but it is going to be a shorter live. Until then, bye. Oh, wait. If everything goes well, I should be a short summary movie tomorrow, but it's gonna be like a real quick short one. Bye.